Indie games look to tell interesting stories while mixing and matching different gameplay mechanics in search of a unique take. Today, I am going to talk to you about a game that has some retro pixel art style visuals mixed in with some incredible atmosphere and some interesting gameplay mechanics. Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy and this is my non-spoiler review for Mythargia for PC on Steam. The game was developed by Run by Coffee and published by Bonus Stage Publishing. Thanks to Bonus Stage Publishing for reaching out, asking me to check the game out. Mythargia follows the story of Leonas, a journalist who is investigating the abandoned island of Mythargia. He goes to the island to find information for his story, and as he starts to investigate, he starts to uncover the horrible truth of what happened there. The game's story is told through character dialogue, in documents and journal entries that give you more insight as to what happened. In terms of the visuals, the game features some pixel art style visuals on a 2D landscape. In terms of performance, the game ran at 60 FPS 1080p with no frame rate drops, no bugs or glitches whatsoever. The game has some very low spec requirements. Here were the game's requirements and my PC specs. In terms of the music, all I can say is that the game features some very atmospheric, dense music that is distinct and very immersive. So let's talk about the gameplay. Mythargia is a 2D horror adventure game. The game focuses mainly on exploration and puzzle solving with a little bit of fighting and platforming. As you explore the island of Mythargia, you will have to find key items to open new paths. You have a health bar and a flashlight bar. You take damage from bear traps that you can evade by jumping over them, or you can take damage from monsters. You have a flashlight that you can replenish with batteries that you find while exploring. At times you will find a mysterious flower that will transport you to another dimension, where you can find people to talk to, puzzles to solve, and there is where you will find enemies. This alternate dimension mechanic is important because some of the things that you do here affect the regular dimension in which you play. This was a mechanic that was well implemented and adds an interesting layer to the gameplay. The monster design in this game is simple, and there are only two enemy types. You can run away from them or fight them using your flashlight with a UV light that damages them and that you get early on in the game. Puzzles are simple and fun to solve, and the platforming is kept to a minimum. An integral part of the game is the exploration. As you explore, you will find documents that give you more insight as to what happened in the island. You will also find spots where you can take photos and take notes. These are important because of the credibility mechanic. In the menu, you will have to pair photos with notes that you have taken, and this will raise or lower your credibility bar. Some combinations raise the bar more than others, and this is important because it comes into play in what regards to the endings of the game. The game has multiple endings and takes around 2 hours to complete. So let's talk about the cons and the pros of this game. Let's start with the cons. The first one may seem like a nitpick, but when you're reading throughout the entire game, it becomes bothersome. So the first thing that I have to point out is that the font is hard to read, and that it is hard to distinguish which character is talking during a conversation. The font used in this game is very hard to read. In regular documents, you can activate the alternative text, which is easy to read. However, during character dialogues, you can't activate it, and it becomes uncomfortable to read. Additionally, when two characters are speaking, both character portraits are on screen at the same time, and the one who is talking has their portrait light up a little bit. This made following the conversation difficult and uncomfortable. The second thing that I need to point out is story presentation. The game has a very interesting premise. However, there is no build up for the story. As soon as you start playing, weird things start happening and the character doesn't react or reacts in an unsurprised way. This gives the feeling as if you missed the opening section of the game where they do a proper setup for this, when in reality, you're literally just starting off the game. This took me out of the experience quite a lot. And third, but not least, underutilized mechanics. Some of the mechanics presented in this game are interesting, but implemented in an underwhelming way. Fighting is very simple and underwhelming. Platforming is barely used throughout the game, and the journalistic mechanic, which is the most integral part of the game, feels bare bones. I feel like this could have been more elaborated, similar to a noir game, requiring more input from the player. So let's talk about the strong points of this game. I gotta point out two things. First of all, the visuals. The pixel art style looks beautiful throughout the entire game. And secondly, the atmosphere. The combination of the visuals and the music generate a very dense and immersed atmosphere that is quite memorable. So in conclusion, Mythargia brings to the table an interesting story premise, incredible atmosphere, and some charming retro 2D pixel art style. However, these are not enough to make it stand out. Subpar story presentation and interesting but underutilized mechanics bring down the experience to an average level. Despite of this, there is still enough here to enjoy. For this reason, I recommend this game. So that's going to be it for my non-spoiler review. The game's link will be in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hi everyone, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our content.